Look around you. Everyone wants to win, but no one wants to bleed. Everyone wants to rise, but no one wants to grind. They look at success like it's a lottery ticket, not a war, and they think it's reserved for the lucky, for the chosen, for someone else, but never for them. They scroll, they envy, they complain, but they never ask the real question. Why not me? Why not you? What's stopping you? What's holding you back? You're breathing, you're thinking, you have time, you have energy. So why are you not dangerous? Why aren't you not dominant? Why are you not the one they fear when you walk into the room? Your problem is dot. You think too small, you act too slow, you wait for permission, you crave comfort, but power is not found. Dot. In comfort, it's forged in chaos, in pleasure, in the fire of doing what others refuse to do. You dot. Think someone's coming to save you. They're not. You think the world owes you. Doesn't you think? But greatness is a gift. It's not. It's a decision. And it's about time you made it. Stop asking why them and start declaring, why not me? Why not now? Why not rise? Why not conquer? The same blood runs in dot. Your veins as the giants you worship. The only difference is they started. You didn't. They kept going. You gave up. They stayed obsessed. You stayed distracted. And that's why they win and you don't. But that ends dot. Today, because you're done watching, you're done wishing, you're done waiting, it's time to dominate it. It's time to destroy. It's time to become the person they never saw coming. You wake up every morning with a choice. Stay in the shadows or break into the light. Most people hit snooze, hit repeat, then drag themselves through another mediocre day because average feels safe. But safety is a slow death, an existence where your dreams die in the waiting room. You aren't here to wait. You're here to act. Success is built on moments when you decide to risk it all. While others hesitate, you charge. While they debate if it's possible, you already map the route. So you understand that opportunity is a perishable commodity. If you don't seize it immediately, it rots away and someone else takes it. So what stops you from moving right now? Fear, doubt, other people's opinions? Those are lies crafted by your own mind, designed to keep you compliant, to keep you in line, to keep you from upsetting the status quo. You're not meant to fit in. You were meant to stand out. You were meant to force the world to raise its standards. So reject the excuses. Declare war on your inner coward. Every successful person, every champion, was once sitting where you are. They stared at the same ceiling, questioned the same limits, felt the same fear, yet they acted. They got up, they learned, they failed, they got up again. They repeated that cycle until they crushed every barrier between them and their goal. Now look at yourself. How many projects have you started and then abandoned because they got hard? How many promises to yourself have you broken as soon as discomfort knocked on your door? You need to stop being the judge and spectator of your own life. You need to pull out the referee flag and blow the whistle on your self-sabotage. You are the only one who can refocus your energy, realign your mission, and put every ounce of your potential in motion. Discipline is your weapon. It wins battles you never see coming. Every morning, you train your mind and body to do the uncomfortable. Waking up before sunrise, pushing out extra reps, reading while others scroll, hustling while others nap. That accumulation of small victories is how empires are built. There is no grand revelation. There is only repetitive, consistent work, day after day, week after week, until your competition is gasping for air, begging for mercy. Sure, there will be setbacks. There will be nights when you question why you started. But remember, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fires. Pain is your partner. When you learn to embrace it, you extract strength you never knew existed. When you welcome pressure, diamonds form. Every time you feel you can't go further, That's precisely the moment you must sprint harder. So ask yourself, why not you? Why not today? Why not seize this second, this breath, and run with it like your life depends on it? Because it does. Everyone is waiting for your next move. Everyone is watching for your mistake. And that's why you can't afford one. Your victory isn't a possibility, it's a requirement. Not for anyone else, but for yourself. Stand up. Strike hard. Show the world you belong at the top. Stop praying for permission and start taking what's yours. This is the first chapter of your revolution. And revolutions don't wait. They erupt, they explode, they overwrite history. So make your move now, before someone else does. You've felt the spark. You've ignited the flame. Now it's time to fuel the inferno. Most will gasp in awe at your first burst of speed dot, but then fade into the background when the grind sets in. They underestimate the power of relentless persistence. They think a single sprint wins the race. They don't realize it's a marathon of brutal intervals, each one more punishing than the last. You're past the point of half-hearted effort. Mediocrity mocked you long enough. Now you harness obsession. Obsession with excellence. Obsession with domination. Obsession with rewriting your limits every damn day. You must become a predator with a singular focus. Hunt down your goals and gut them. No mercy. No excuses. Every morning, you review your battlefield like a general studying enemy lines. You know your strengths and weaknesses. You sharpen the sword of your skills. You reinforce the shield of your mindset. You plan with precision. You attack with ferocity. And when setbacks appear, because they will, you don't cower, you adapt. You pivot. You strike again from a new angle. That's how winners maintain momentum. They don't let adversity dictate terms. They set the terms. Look at the world around you, a minefield of distractions waiting to derail you. Social media, cheap thrills, the comfort of doing nothing. They all whisper seductive lies. You've earned a break. You'll start tomorrow. Relax your guard. Those whispers are your enemy's secret weapon. Silence them with overwhelming action. Flood your days with purposeful tasks so there's no room for the poison of procrastination. Your diet, your workouts, your learning, your network, they aren't hobbies. They're ammunition. Stockpile them. Cultivate them. Use them to wage more complacency. When you're under attack, you'll need fortified defenses. A mind sharpened by reading. An industry-honed skill set. Alliances forged with like-minded warriors. Iron sharpens iron. Surround yourself with those who elevate you, not deflate you. If they're not pulling you forward, they're holding you back. Now, let's talk about pain. Pain is not a setback. Pain is a teacher. It shows you where you're weak. It reveals the fractures in your armor. But pain cannot break you unless you let it. You choose how to respond. You can crumble or you can rise. Champions choose to rise. Champions turn every bruise, every scar, every failure into fuel. They store it in the reserves of their soul and draw from it when the fight gets darkest. You're entering the phase where most falter, the plateau. That silent killer that whispers, "You've done enough." But you know better. You know that plateaus are illusions. They exist only in the mind. When you push past perceived limits, you break through to a new level of power. That breakthrough moment is addictive. Once you taste it, you hunger for more. That's when your transformation becomes inevitable. So double down on your standards. If your morning routine isn't brutal, rewrite it. If your goals aren't lofty enough, raise them until they scare you. If your network isn't elite, find or become the elite. You're not building a life of comfort. You're engineering a legacy of dominance. And legacies are written by relentless, unapologetic action. Every second is a battleground. Every task is a strategic strike. Every drop of sweat is a deposit in your success account. Withdraw when you've earned it, not when you crave it. Because cravings lie, results don't. Results roar. They echo through time. They command respect. And they demand envy. Ask yourself again, why not you? Why not now? Why not transform your potential into raw power? The world doesn't owe you greatness. It never has. It's time to prove you deserve it. It's time to elevate your game beyond what you ever imagined. Because greatness isn't given, greatness is seized. Now stand up, lock in, and claim what's yours. You've broken through the initial fire. You've tasted the thrill of movement and the sting of resistance. Now the real test begins. Champions don't win on day 1 or day 10. They win when fatigue sets in on day 50. They win when comfort beckons. They win when every cell in their body screams to stop and every voice in their head begs for mercy. That's when you find out who you really are. Right now your mind is teetering between hope and hesitation. Every fiber of your being wants to believe in your mission, but also wants to retreat to safety. You must decide which voice governs your actions. The voice of comfort is a cunning liar. It will promise peace and deliver regret. The voice of ferocity is a brutal truth teller. It will push you to limits you never knew, but reward you with unbreakable confidence. Choose the brutal truth. Let's talk systems, because passion without structure is a flash in the pan. You need ironclad routines to break. Your morning sequence must be non-negotiable. Cold plunge, heavy lift, focused study, high intensity work sprint. And your morning sequence must be reflection on failures, recalibration of tomorrow's plan, early lights out. When your rituals become reflex, you remove decision fatigue. You eliminate excuses. You convert willpower into pure execution. Execution demands obsession. You can't treat your plan like a hobby you visit when it suits you. You must live for it, breathe it, dream it. Have every scene you enter, every second you waste away from your mission is a concession to the pedestrian masses. They'll celebrate your absence, mock your ambition, and call you arrogant. Good. Let them talk. Their noise is the soundtrack of your ascent. Metrics matter. Track your progress in real numbers. Weights lifted, words written, dollars earned, connections made. If you're not measuring, you're guessing. Guessing leads to stagnation. Stagnation leads to despair. When you see the data climb, it fuels your ego in a healthy way. It reinforces the fact that you can improve beyond belief. Then you elevate your targets, because targets that don't scare you aren't worth hitting. Allies matter. You need a cadre of peers who push you harder than you push yourself. Isolation breeds complacency, generates a crucible of excellence. You'll face challenges together, strategize through crises, celebrate breakthroughs, and hold each other accountable when someone wavers. Seek out those who embody the future version of yourself. Then move closer until their standards become your standards. But beware of false allies, those who flatter your ego without demanding sacrifice. Those are the worst saboteurs. They lull you into complacency with praise and stroke your ambition without pushing you forward. Cut them loose. You don't need supporters who cheer only when you succeed. You need critics who challenge you to get better. Adversity is inevitable. Business will stall. Relationships will strain. Health will falter. The world will throw curveballs. Your job is not to avoid adversity, it's to leverage it. Every obstacle you conquer adds to your inventory of confidence. Every failure you dissect sharpens your strategy. Turn every setback into a launch pad. Relentlessness is not the absence of pain, it's the mastery of it. Your identity is the battleground. You must rewire yourself from the inside. Stop identifying as the person you were yesterday. Start identifying as the person you must become, a force of nature, unstoppable and unapologetic. Speak in the present tense about your future achievements. Visualize them with brutal clarity. Then back up that vision with action so loud that doubt can't hear itself think. Ask yourself, are you satisfied with comfortable mediocrity, or are you hungry for a legacy that outlives your lifetime? This is the crossroads. One path leads to obscurity, the other to immortality. There is no middle ground. You've done the groundwork. You've weathered the storms. Now it's time to erect your monument. So stand taller, breathe deeper, move faster, attack your goals with the ferocity of a cornered beast. Because the world doesn't notice those who play small. It only respects those who dominate without apology. And remember, every moment you hesitate is a moment someone else claims your praise. Ask yourself one more time, why not you? Then go prove it. You've stormed the gates and planted your flag on new ground, but the battle isn't over. It's evolving. Victory isn't a single moment. It's a continuous campaign. Now you transition from brute force to strategic mastery. You refine your edge until it cuts through resistance like a hot knife through butter. Every skill you develop, every tactic you master layers onto your empire. You don't just attack obstacles, you anticipate them, outthink them, outmaneuver them. Mastery demands you isolate one aspect of your craft. Your pitch, your technique, your negotiation, and you drill it until your mind and body execute flawlessly on instinct. You record your sessions, review them like a general poring over battle footage, and exploit every weakness. You don't stop when you're tired. You stop when you're corrected. You don't settle for good enough. You refuse to let mediocrity ruin your ascent. Influence is your next frontier. Power without followers is hollow. You cultivate charisma through authenticity and bold conviction. When you speak, they listen. When you move, they follow. You leverage platforms, you build alliances, you become the nucleus of your network. Your confidence becomes contagious. People want access to your energy, your mindset, your machine. You don't chase approval. You demand an audience. Investment in yourself is non-negotiable. You pour resources into growth, courses, mentors, high-performance tools. Every dollar spent is ammunition for your future battles. You calculate ROI in expertise and leverage, not spreadsheets. You bet on yourself when nobody else will. It's how you stand out, by raising the stakes until only you have the courage to play. Haters will emerge, voices of envy. They'll question your methods, mock your ambition, and spread doubt like a virus. You don't confront them. You convert them into data points. Their criticism reveals blind spots. You thank them mentally for their feedback. Then you go harder. Let their negativity fuel your grind. Their doubt is proof you're doing something unprecedented. Your vision must expand beyond personal glory. Real dominators plant seeds for generations. You mentor those who share your hunger. You build systems that outlive your direct involvement. You architect a legacy so formidable that history can't ignore it. You craft a narrative of triumph that others will emulate. That's how we transcend mortality, by embedding your influence in structures, traditions, and unwavering principles. This is your fourth crucible, the transformation of raw power into enduring influence. If you falter now, you relinquish everything you fought for. So maintain ritual, demand excellence from yourself and your circle, and strike opportunities with surgical precision. You aren't here to fade away. You're here to dominate history. Ask, why not you to lead this new world order? Then rise and show them how it's done. This is the summit moment, the apex of your transformation, and complacency is the only enemy left. You've built power, mastered strategy, cultivated influence, and now it's time to cement your rule. Champions don't rest on laurels. They plant new fields of conquest. You've earned the right to call yourself unstoppable, but the true test is sustaining supremacy when the world expects you to slip. Elevate your legacy by multiplying your impact. Your time is finite, but leverage is exponential. Delegate ruthlessly to those who match your standards. Automate processes that drain your energy, that amplify your reach. Nowadays, teams, time so that every decision you make radiates through your empire long after you move on to the next frontier. Generosity is power. Real dominators lift others as they climb. Mentor those with raw hunger. Share hard lessons without apologies. Build a network of warriors whose loyalty stems from respect, not obligation. Those around you, you create a force multiplier. Every ally carries your banner into battles you'll never see. That extends your influence beyond your own lifespan. Guard your mind as fiercely as your body. Keep feeding it with the highest caliber information. Surround yourself with contrarian thinkers who challenge every assumption. Schedule shutdown periods to recalibrate, reflect, and innovate. Silence your inner noise through meditation or intense physical exertion so that only your core mission resonates. Clarity wins battles before they begin. Obsession fades without fresh challenges. Constantly reset your goals until they feel impossible again. If you've conquered financial freedom, pursue intellectual mastery. If you've built a global network, engineer social change. If you dominate your industry, expand to uncharted markets. As soon as you achieve a milestone, rewrite history by raising the bar. Stagnation is the silent killer of all empires. Stay relentless in adaptation. The world shifts beneath your feet like molten rock. Rigidity is suicide. Anticipate trends, embrace disruption, transform crises into springboards. Your adaptability will intimidate competitors and draw respect from allies. You're not a passenger in the future, you accelerate it. That's the mark of true power. At this final threshold, ask, will you settle for being a footnote or carve your name into eternity? You've fought through every furnace of doubt, every storm of adversity. Now it's time to unleash legacy-level audacity. Proclaim your vision with uncompromising clarity. Act with ferocity that in equal measure. When history records your chapter, let it read, here stood an unstoppable force. So stand at this peak, breathe in the victory, and then leap into new heights. Your revolution doesn't conclude, it evolves. You are the author of endless chapters of conquest. Ask once more, why not you? Then execute without hesitation. The world awaits your next act. Make it legendary.